All right, well, here's our quick review of opposite numbers, absolute value, and midpoint. First off, opposite numbers. You should think this two numbers where the sum is 0. So if you got 4, it's got to be -4. 4 plus -4 equals 0. Now remember, you can also think of opposite numbers as numbers that are the same distance from 0 on the number line. Numbers that are the same distance from 0 on the number line. So if you look, -4 is here, 4 away from 0, right? And +4 is here, also 4 away from 0. So opposite numbers are the same distance from 0 on opposite sides from 0 on the number line. You can think of them that way. But remember, their sum is 0. All right, so what's the opposite of -12n? Well, it's got to be a positive 12n, right? The opposite of -12n is going to be a positive 12n. Opposite numbers. Notice they have the same value. One's positive, one is negative. How about absolute value? So with absolute value, you have to think the distance a number is away from 0. So how far away from 0 is -2? It's 2 away. -2 is 2 away from 0 on a number line. So if I showed you that on a number line, -2 would be here. Oh, let me grab my pen. So -2 would be here. How far away is that from 0? 2 away, right? And therefore the absolute value is 2. In my second example here, we got 3. Now a lot of people want to say the answer to this is -3, but that's opposite numbers. This is absolute value. How far away from 0 is 3? And the answer is 3. So to do this one, again, we've got to figure out how far away it is. It's 3 away. Okay, so the absolute value of -2 is 2. The absolute value of 3 is 3. The distance a number is away from 0. Right, last concept we dealt with was endpoints. So how would you deal with the endpoints of -3 and 4, and we want to find the midpoint if the endpoints are -3 and 4? Well, remember, we'll call one endpoint A. I hate when I do that. Sorry about that. We'll call one endpoint A, and we'll call the other endpoint B. Do you remember the formula? The midpoint coordinates is A plus B divided by 2, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to do -3 plus 4 divided by 2, and that's 1/2. What's the value of the coordinates of the midpoint? 1/2. And I can show you that on the number line, right? So here's our -3, and here's our 4. And according to what we just did, the coordinate that is 1/2, which is right there, should be the halfway point. And sure enough, so 1, 2, 3.5 that way, 1, 2, 3.5 that way, and sure enough, that one's in the middle. So A plus B divided by 2. Okay, opposite numbers, absolute value, and midpoint.